Hello, Shoyan here. The addition is all framed up, so today I'll open up this tokonoma to create a passageway. This room has to come apart too, so I'll remove this and get started on the teardown. With renovation dismantlement, there are always parts you need to keep. You have to protect those areas properly and keep the dust out. So protection comes first. This room is right next to the addition. It's an 11 square meter Japanese style room with an oshi-ire and a tokonoma. I'll be making a passageway that runs through the tokonoma area. We're not doing a full renovation on this room, but we'll keep the columns, kamoi, and crown molding, replacing the wallpaper in between, and renovating the ceiling, tokonoma, and oshi-ire. With renovation work, you can't just tear things out and rebuild. That doesn't work. Whether it's the right side or the left, you plan it out properly and take it all down in one go. That's the basic approach. If I dismantle from the addition side, the framing will be fully exposed. If I try to break through from the front, where the drywall is, it's wallpapered, so I won't be able to tell where the screws are. So I work from the frame on the addition side. That said, there's a diagonal brace in this section too. Since I'm cutting right through the diagonal brace to take out the board like this, I've already installed 2 sheets of structural sheathing on the adjacent 1.8 meter wall next to it. Even with one diagonal brace removed, those 2 sheets of sheathing keep things plenty strong. I think it might even be a bit stronger than before. With all the earthquakes lately, you really can't afford to make things weaker than the original. Back in our day, 30-40 years ago, we used to put fire-resistant boards on the exterior walls instead of structural sheathing. When you put up those boards and everything looked clean, it looked nice. But honestly, I don't think they did much structurally. In the video, it looks like the whole 90-centimeter wall just folded right over in one go, like it went perfectly. But there are furring strips, so I have to separate the wood from the fire-resistant boards. Even if the dismantlement itself is fast, I have to sort and separate the wood and boards. Otherwise, it just ends up taking more time. Now we can finally move between the new addition and the existing part of the house. For a few days, I had part of the sheathing removed. Every night, I'd screw it back in place before leaving, and then every morning, I'd open it up again to get in. This is so much easier. Next, I take apart the oshi-ire on the side. Oshi-ire is built neatly with veneer sheets, but if you just work backward through the steps, it comes apart easily. One thing I noticed while taking things apart, this house is about 30 years old, and nails and screws are really mixed together throughout. Back in those days, you'd use screws only where you really needed a solid hold, and nails for everything else. And maybe people were a bit hesitant about using screws. Even ledger boards that support joists were nailed. It's about half and half on this job. Back then, nails and screws were counted as part of the carpenter's labor costs. Screws were pretty expensive when they first came out, so people used them sparingly. I remember that too. Depending on the task, nails are faster, and if you worried a screw might snap or break, you'd reach for a nail instead back in those days. These days, screws are thick, long, and tough, much harder to break. So now, it's pretty much 100% screws for interior joinery work. Now I'm peeling off the ceiling called Mesukashi Tenjo. It'd be easy if I were removing the crown molding too, but I'm keeping it and just removing the ceiling panels. The middle section comes apart fast, but all the nails driven into the crown molding stay behind. The ceiling itself comes down quickly, but cleaning up those leftover nails is a real pain. I'm already dreading it a little. Next, I remove the tokonoma column, tokobashira. You might think removing this one column weakens the structure, but not at all. The flat beam above it is 330 millimeters and is supported well enough without this column. There's no second floor column sitting above it either. This column wasn't set during framing. It was added later during interior joinery work, screwed into place. It looks like a fine piece of ebony, all jet black, but it's actually just laminated wood, the ebony style that was really popular back then. In this case, even the floorboard has that same dark finish, a full black tokonoma set. I always think this, but taking things apart is easy. You don't have to think about anything. Just take things apart one piece at a time. It'd be so exciting if I could do interior work at this speed. I take apart the oshi-ire on the other side of the room the same way. As you can see, this one has many diagonal braces too. This 90cm section is going to become the doorway from this room out to the entryway hall. It'll be a straight shot from the entryway all the way through to the household altar room. There'll be an opening into the entryway hall. I'm not tearing apart the entire entryway hall, just cutting an opening for the doorway, so I carefully remove the baseboard to avoid any damage. Then take out the wall in the 90 centimeter doorway section. This section also has diagonal bracing. I have no choice but to cut and remove it. The oshi-ire next to it has another 1.8 meter wall, just like before, so I plan to attach structural sheathing there. I installed structural sheathing on this 1.8 meter wall, but it's pretty heavy. With the oshi-ire's kamoi still in place, getting it in there was a real struggle. But once it's on, it gives you peace of mind. The teardown is done. Now the new addition, the existing room, and the entryway are all connected. I can finally bring materials in and get to work. Next, I'll start with the floor. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.